There is a moment right before you explain, right before you justify, right before you rush to make sense of yourself, where your body already knows. But most of us were never taught to listen or to listen there. Instead, we were taught to respond quickly. And actually, responding quickly is not responding, that's reacting. Because we felt that we had to smooth things over, to say the right thing, keep the peace, to over-explain ourselves into safety. Today, I want to talk about something quieter, something more powerful. What happens when you let the body lead and stop explaining yourself? Welcome, everybody, back to the Soul Talk podcast. This is the Living Unmasked series. We're in week 4. I am Mary Beth Rim. I'm a mental health therapist. I'm a coach. I'm a runner. And this series is about what happens after insight, when awareness moves out of the mind and into the body. And again, this is week 4, and it's called Safety in the Body. And today's episode is about the power of the pause, about using fewer words, about listening inward so you can respond, and about what changes when your body, not your fear, gets to lead. And if this work resonates with you, I'd love for you to share it with someone. I also would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I share these conversations and practices and meditations to support this journey of living from the inside out. Let's begin. Most of us were conditioned early in life to believe that being understood equals being safe. So we learn to explain. We learn to clarify. We learn to preempt misunderstandings before they even happened. And over time, explanation became a reflex for you, not a choice. But here's the question I want to gently ask you today. Is explanation always truth? Or is it sometimes a trauma response? Because when the nervous system doesn't feel safe, it speeds things up. It talks more. It fills space. It rushes to repair. The body, however, does the opposite. The body slows. The body pauses. The body listens first. So letting the body lead doesn't mean going silent forever. It doesn't mean withholding truth. It means checking inward before you respond outward. Because sometimes when we respond outward, we're reacting. And sometimes we make things worse. It means asking questions like, what am I feeling right now? Is my body open or is it braced? Am I speaking to be understood or to be safe? When the body leads, words come after sensation, not before. And that order matters because words that come from urgency tend to over-explain. Words that come from safety tend to be fewer and clearer. So here's the power of fewer words. There is a quiet confidence that comes with fewer words, not because you have less to say, but because you trust what you feel. You trust yourself. When the body feels safe, it doesn't rush to convince, it doesn't over defend, it doesn't need to justify its existence. Fewer words often signal internal alignment. And alignment doesn't need to be loud. Sometimes the most embodied response is simply, let me think about that. I need a moment. I'm not ready to answer yet. Those pauses are not weaknesses. They're self-respect. We often think boundaries are about what we say, but many boundaries are about when we speak. The pause is one of the most underused boundaries. Pause allows the nervous system to just settle. It allows sensation to surface. It also allows truth to rise without force. And when you pause, you're saying to yourself, my body matters. My timing matters. I don't need to rush my truth to earn safety. And that's a radical shift for many of us. Let me be honest for a moment. We explain at some point being misunderstood didn't feel safe. Maybe you were dismissed, misread, told your feelings were too much, or taught that clarity was your responsibility. So you learn to do the emotional labor early. But the body remembers when that effect came at a cost. And how part of safety in the body is learning how to stand still inside yourself, which for a lot of people can be really, really uncomfortable. And even when others are uncomfortable too, because they will be. So let's pause together right now. Take a gentle breath. Inhale in and let it go. Notice your body as you listen. Ask yourself, where do I feel pressure to explain? Where do I rush to respond? What would it feel like to wait one more breath? It's actually an interesting concept. You don't need to fix anything. Just notice. Take a second and really notice. Because noticing is the beginning of safety. So what happens when you stop explaining yourself? Something shifts. When you stop explaining yourself, your voice changes. Your posture changes. Your energy changes. You become less reactive and more rooted and grounded. And people feel that. And not everyone will like it. Not everyone will understand it. but your body will recognize it as truth. And that recognition builds trust internally first. This week, I invite you to practice 3 simple things. Pause before responding, even one breath. Notice sensation before words. Experiment with fewer words and see how it feels. Not as a rule, not as performance, but as a conversation with your body. Safety doesn't come from perfect communication. There's no such thing as perfect communication. It comes from self-connection. How you connect with yourself first. You need to connect with yourself first before you can connect with anyone else. So letting the body lead is not about withdrawal. It's about embodied presence. It's about trusting that your truth doesn't need to rush to be real. And if this episode resonated with you, please hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel and share it with someone who might be learning how to live from the inside out. Next week, we'll continue deepening this work as we explore what it means to stay embodied, even in relationships. Until then, please be gentle with your timing. Trust your pauses. And remember, your body already knows. I'm Mary Beth Rim. Until next time.